Steve Schmidt is the chief strategist for the McCain-Palin campaign. Lindsey Graham, the senior senator from the state of South Carolina, a very close friend of John McCain's. Hi, gentlemen. Good evening.
Great
nice
to
to
see you
both.
Katie.
Thanks for coming
Hello.
by. Steve, let me start with you. I want to get your reaction to something Karl Rove told the Washington Post today. He said Sarah Palin was, quote, not a governing decision, but a campaign decision. What's your reaction?
Karl's wrong. She's an exceptional governor, a reform governor in Alaska. 50 states in this country. She is the most popular governor of any state. Her approval ratings are 80%. When you look at the fact that Congress's approval rating is 9% and 85% of the country thinks we're going in the wrong direction, she's doing something right up there. She's fought the oil companies. She's building a huge natural gas pipeline. She's taken on the corrupt special interests. She's returned taxpayer money back to families in Alaska. She is the future of the Republican Party. She's going to be an outstanding vice president. The simple fact here is that this is a mom of 5 children. There's been a private family matter, and she's been under vicious assault and attack from the angry left. And we've seen that today. There's a lot of allegations and rumors, almost all of them untrue. The other side's throwing everything but the kitchen sink at her to see what sticks. The American people are going to love her when they meet her. She's an exceptional woman, an accomplished woman, and by any objective measurement, Katie, she is more experienced and more accomplished than Senator Obama. She's a woman who manages billion-dollar budgets. She makes decisions every day. One of the most exceptional governors in the country.
So you don't think that Barack Obama's experience as a state senator for 8 years and then a U.S. senator for 4 years, how can you compare those two?
Well, Barack Obama was in the United States Senate for 1 year before he took off, and Senator Graham will talk about that to run for president full time. When he was a state senator, he had no executive decisions, and 130 times, tough votes, he took a pass and voted president. Leaders have to make decisions. Governor Palin makes decisions.
So do you think, Senator Graham, governors are better leaders than senators?
I think Governor, having been in the Senate, probably. Governor Palin, I think, really complements what John wants to do. John has looked at Washington as broken, and it's not something new to him. I was one of 14 senators who voted against the bridge to nowhere. I was scared because I knew what was going to come my way. The governor of Alaska said no to the project.
But didn't she initially say yes to the project? So doesn't that kind of drive a hole into that argument?
I think I have earmarked, I confess, on national TV. This has been a journey for Alaska and the country. She's seen what's happened in Alaska. John's seen what has happened in Washington. If you wanted to pick somebody that had a record of change and would tell their own party things they didn't want to hear, she's the best pick John could have made. She's a lot like John.
But she did have a change of heart on that bridge to nowhere, correct? I mean, let's just set the record straight.
She did. And let's be clear, she killed it at the end of the day. It's okay.
After initially supporting it, that's all. I think we should set the record straight on that.
There's no question that's the case.
Yeah.
But she killed that bridge. That $230 million bridge to an island with 50 people, one of the great taxpayer ripoffs of all time. And the American people have Governor Palin to thanks for killing it.
If I could say, Katie, Alaska's in turmoil politically. This has caught up with the people of Alaska. They've got a lot of political problems on their hands, and America is caught up with the Congress, and people are frustrated. They're ready to do something different, and Senator Obama hasn't done a whole lot different since I've been around him.
Let me just ask you guys, you mentioned, Steve, all the allegations, and some are scurrilous, some, though, question her readiness, and some of the things that she has done politically, which seem to me to be fair game.
Sure.
I mean, aren't those legitimate criticisms, and don't they call into question the vetting process, which obviously you were a very important part of? But some people wonder, why are these things coming out in a kind of a drip, drip, drip fashion?
Well, let's talk about what's coming out. The fact that her husband had a DWI 24 years ago when he was 22 years old. Senator McCain thinks that's nonsense. That's not a disqualifier for a vice president of the United States. We knew that her daughter was going to have a child, and Senator McCain offered his love and support for their family. That doesn't disqualify this exceptional leader, and the American people, I think, will angrily reject it. Today, Katie, I've been asked questions that are outrageous by the national media. I've been asked questions when her amniotic fluid started to leak with regard to her last birth. I was asked whether we would make the genetic test available because she had a Down syndrome child. Members of his campaign went to off-the-record lunches with reporters today, and they were asked if she would do paternity tests to prove paternity for her last child. Smear after smear after smear, and it's disgraceful and it's wrong, and the American people are going to reject it overwhelmingly when they see her tomorrow
Let me
night.
ask you, though, both of you, a couple of questions that I hope you'll deem legitimate. Sure. And that is that she raised sales taxes as mayor, which seems to be against John McCain's philosophy, and that she personally lobbied for some very sizable earmarks. You addressed that briefly.
Sure.
But, you know, she hired someone when she was mayor of Wasilla to get a lot of money for her town. I think $27 million, the Washington Post reported. So how does that square with John McCain's philosophy and sort of persona as this maverick reformer?
You know, Senator Obama's attacked that experience that she was a mayor, degraded it. She's a governor today. But when she was a mayor, she fought for her city. And she did everything she could to make that city a better place. And there are stories in the paper about how much that city grew and developed during her tenure as mayor. She was an effective leader, served on the PTA, and she became the governor. She's going to join John McCain in vetoing every earmark project that comes in a spending bill and stop this outrageous spending in Washington, D.C. She raised sales taxes because that was the right thing to do for that town that time. It shows that she doesn't adhere to a dogmatic principle. We have to have taxes in the country. Here's the difference. Senator Obama wants to raise everybody's federal taxes. Governor Palin, Senator McCain going to cut them.
All right, Steve Schmidt,
You bet.
Senator Lindsey Graham. Hopefully we can
much.
continue this discussion another
I
time.
enjoyed listening.
Yeah, come back
I
when you
will.
can get more
I
in.
will.
Thank you,
I will.
Senator.